Hello, Virgo. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you can see me and hear me loud and clear. I always want to start a couple minutes early when I see the chat is active as it is today. And Apollo wanted to bless you with a quick hello. So I'm going to put him back down. I always like to start off with Apollo as well. I know a lot of you like to see him. I'd like to start off by saying welcome to all of my return viewers. And for those of you that this might be your first live feed, I'm really excited for all of us because one of the reasons that I've been doing this is way back in the day, I thought I might actually be a yoga teacher. And during that process, I learned the power of kind of like group assembly, group meditation, and the togetherness that we all can kind of connect to when doing this. It's sort of like a chain of light, and that's what I'm trying to create with these readings. So so happy you could make it. Please give a nice warm welcome as well to my moderators, Maria and Ryan. They're going to help keep everything organized today. If there's any questions or information that needs to get out, they'll help you with that. So again, I want to just kind of set expectations for today, what we're going to do, and then we'll get started because I know I've got a lot to talk about and I can't wait to share it. So this, of course, is for the month of February. And one thing that I'm doing in 2020 that's different is I'm giving it to everybody a couple weeks earlier. And this is allowing all of us to watch it when we need to watch it. You can wait until February if you like, but if you're like me and you like to get a head start on things, this year, everybody's going to have a chance to really take advantage of that extra time, exercise free will, and make some great things happen. If you haven't already looked at the January readings, then again, my moderators are going to post a link and you can see the past and also any future scheduled links or videos by going to that link. By the way, it's a great time to follow me on Instagram and Facebook if you haven't already, because on both of those platforms, I use stories, and actually the Instagram stories have little timers and reminders that you can opt into. So if you want to remember when your videos are going live or when we're having one of these readings, then please join me on those two platforms. And I look forward to seeing you there. So I saw actually in the chat, there's been a lot of talk about sun, rising, and moon. That's a perfect way, a segue into saying that this can be used for that as well. So if you happen to know all three parts of your, major parts, I should say, of your chart, then you can use this for any one of those. You can also watch on behalf of someone that you care about. Now, if you don't know all of that, stick with your birth sign, you're gonna be A-okay, all right? One way that you can give back and say thank you, if you haven't already subscribed, please do that. It's free and it actually shows me that this is reaching people. If you want to give back and actually just sort of say thank you, another way that you can do that is through Super Chat. And this is a way to basically give me a virtual tip, and you can send a sticker or make your comments stand out and just say thank you. And this really helps me continue to buy supplies and set up the time to do this. It's your support, just like this was public radio. Without your support, I'm not going to be able to do it. So if you feel like doing that, I just want to say thanks in advance. Unlike many readers that do live readings, this is not going to be Q&A. Again, I'm kind of using the energy of assembly here to really help us get the information that we need. And I do something special in my readings, which is a meditation at the end. So after we've had a chance to look at everything today, the focus this month is on how to manifest. So maybe you want to bring in love, maybe you want to improve something in your career, etc. We'll use what we've seen in the Celtic cross, plus I pull some additional cards, past, present, and future influences for the express purpose of manifestation. But there may be also some healing and other things that I pick up here. So I'll tailor that. And that's one of the great things about joining in. So whether you do it live or on the replay, you're still going to be able to tap into that energy. And I look forward to sharing it with you. I'd also like to just tell you what the overall organization is going to be. I'm going to start off with channeled messages, and this is when I use raw intuition, just my own psychic skills. And when I arrive here early, about an hour early, I'm meditating and picking up on those messages, and then I pop in and out of the chat room. But that's what I'm doing when I show up early. Then we're going to use the cards next. And after that, I'll expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny before we get into the meditation. So as you can see, action-packed today. There's a lot coming through. Stick around until the very end, and I'll also give you some ways that you can connect with me, whether you want to book an appointment or become a patron. I'll go into all of that at the end. All right, let's talk about what's going on this month, in the month of February, as I was tuning into your sign. So what I saw in my mind's eye when I was focusing on the cards, I just select a deck and I start to meditate, was it was almost like a plane landing, or like I was kind of landing on my feet. And it felt to me like it was an easy landing. It was smooth. If you've ever been in a plane where it is not, there's turbulence, it can be a little scary, right? You can feel all of the friction, and sometimes it's even more impactful than the takeoff, or even like if you're up in the clouds. What I wrote down this month is I feel like you have an opportunity to land on your feet, and part of this is through being decisive, making that decision that matters. And I also put here that the time is now. Don't hesitate. By the way, thank you for that super chat. At the very end, I am going to, actually after the videos have been posted, I'll put a comment. I feel like that's less of an interruption to the flow, but I just want to say thank you for that. I appreciate it. So back to the channeled message. Making a decision, I think, is the key component here. So for some of you, there could be this sort of hesitation or uncertainty that you're feeling about, you know, can I do it? Should I do it? Is the time now? And that was one of the main components that I got, was don't kind of hold back anymore. The more you can kind of get behind what you're trying to do and use this opportunity, use February to make that your launching pad, I feel like it's going to be great. So good things ahead for your sign. If there's been a feeling of stagnation or uncertainty, we're moving away from that and into a sense of, I know where I'm going. So as I now move along to look at the Celtic cross, that's going to be one of the places that I'm focusing on, is helping you make that decision and clear anything up that we need to clear up, okay? So I'm going to pull the camera down. At this point, I like to remain quiet. But after we have pulled out all the cards here, I will rejoin you and go through each one and talk about what's coming through for you. And by the way, everybody, this is a community forum, so I see that my moderators had to step in. Please be kind, and let's not monopolize time or do anything crazy. Let's keep it in a place of love and light. All right, Virgo, let's see what's coming through. Yes, this is a safe space. And as we'll be looking at in our meditation today, we'll also try to help provide guidance and hopefully group healing and group energy. That's what this is all about. All right, thanks again, everyone, for being patient as I arranged the Celtic cross and also the expanded cards here. Let's start off with your catalyst. For me, the catalyst is a way to connect with the highest opportunity of the month, a way to avoid any potential pitfalls, and really an opportunity to maximize your potential. And what we see here is a card that's active but reversed. The message at the bottom is participation, taking part in a group, connecting with the energy of others. And in this particular deck, I think this might actually even correspond to like the Four of Wands, but that's not as important as the message here. If we look at the sort of synergy here, what we're seeing is that by being able to listen, interact, and sort of see it from different angles, you're going to be able to improve upon an idea. And as an artist, I know that this is a hard thing sometimes to want to share something that you hold near and dear. But whenever I've worked with a beta reader, an editor, or a producer, or someone in my life that's been able to kind of come in and give feedback, once I get past that fear of rejection, then you start to grow. You see things from a different angle. So I think for you this month, power in numbers. You don't have to take all of this on by yourself. And there's a lot of people that can add to this. So this is sort of I think a solution to those of you that might be feeling the weight of the load of like the 10 of Wands, for instance. It's saying you've got this. And in fact, you could delegate a little bit. And once you do that, you're going to be able to reach more people, and it might even be more successful because you're going to avoid some potential pitfalls. We actually see the Four of Wands card here in the opportunity space. So this is something you can choose to do or not to do, but it feels like if you do it, there's a lot of great opportunities within it. And for me, Four of Wands, whether it's upright or reversed, it's a great card. It's really about finding people that you trust, that you love. And by the way, there's some great messages about love this month too, because I see Two of Cups, Four of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. That's pretty good. So I think it's a good time to connect with people, whether it's with love relationships, friendships, or business. It feels like people is one of the main sort of messages, or are part of the main message for you this month. So at the center, we have the Four of Pentacles. The last sign that I was reading for, this was actually in the fear space. It's interesting, it's popping up in different places this month for all the different signs. But for me, if you look at this, I actually like the illustration here. You see someone who has a decent amount of resources in their life, but feels like it's not enough, or there's sort of a fear mentality that they're not going to be able to make it last, make it sort of stretch. And with respect to manifestation, which we'll talk about later, fear can actually hold you back. I'm going to take a note on this because I want to make sure that I help you release the fear, particularly the fear of abundance. What you want to do on that one is to reprogram and think to yourself, I'm ready for abundance in all forms. That's something that I have as my own mantra in love, in resources and opportunities. And I will not be limited. There's not going to be any sort of limits. That's what you want to meditate on each day. A feeling of abundance. I have what I need. I have more than what I need. That's how you can take the Four of Pentacles, turn it upright, and actually just neutralize it, bring it up into a higher frequency, the 10 of Pentacles, which is what we see your actual future state being. So I think for some of you, there is a past fear or insecurity that is going to present itself. And have you ever noticed sometimes when you have an opportunity to succeed, excel, or be put out there, that's when these things from the past start to come up. And I think that's all this is for many of you, is something where, let's say maybe you went for a job before and it didn't work, and now you're afraid to, put your hat in for another opportunity. You think you're going to get rejected. One rejection does not equate to a blanket rejection. Or if you did something before and you kind of fell down or stumbled, this time, it's like an athlete. You have to keep going at it until you sprint, right? And so, yeah, now you've landed, but it's time to move forward. And that's kind of what I think this card is saying. We see that forward-looking sort of planning that is necessary here in the Princess of Swords. And she is very much in her head this month. It's not so much about speech, which is normally what I would see. This is almost more like Princess of Wands or than it is Swords. But I think what's key about this is you could share a vision with somebody. So if there's something that you're excited about, you really want to see it, feel it, believe it. Once you're able to do that, then you can try to get people into that energy. But I think the key here is you have to believe in yourself. Because to me, this is self-confidence or lack thereof. And this one is about being able to see what you can do and believe it. If you don't, your words fall short. And I think that's why this particular Swords card is showing someone that needs to see what they're saying and feeling. Otherwise, it's empty. It's when somebody says something like in a really poorly produced movie or something, and you can just tell they're not emoting. They're not actually bringing it from the heart space. So the more you can feel and trust that you've got this, the more that you will have it. It's self-perpetuating or self-fulfilling, I should say. Looking into the deep past, which is what's affecting you. And since most of us are watching this a few weeks early, you can kind of fix any of this if we see it. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. And when I look at cups, it's not just about your feelings. It's also about intuition. It's about those primal things that we all have that we don't always listen to. And for me, whenever I'm looking at a Knight card, it's about movement. And I feel like some of you know the direction in which you should be going, but you may either be deciding that for some reason you can't go there, or you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings, or your emotions are somehow kind of like getting in the way. So I think that it's important to be in touch with your emotions, but if you feel like they're holding you down or holding you back, this is a time to talk to someone, to meditate, to try to find a way to even that out. Because I think the biggest emotion that's coming through is fear and maybe uncertainty. And so if you can work on feeling that you've got this, that you believe in what you can do, and that you start to kind of build excitement about what's along the horizon, I think that's going to be key. This really does strike me as a manifestation. It's almost like the High Priestess. When I looked at it, I was surprised that we were looking at Princess of Swords instead of the High Priestess, because I expect that vision of the future to kind of be part of that. But what is coming through with that particular illustration is that I was actually talking to someone about this, that sometimes seeing is being. So if you can I know it's kind of weird to say it that way, but if you can see it, it will happen. It's not just about sort of, if we think of the Matrix, for instance, I like to talk about the Matrix from time to time, but I think the first time Neo meets her, she's like, don't worry about the vase, or it might have been the second time, I can't remember. But then she later says, now here's the crazy thing. You may not have done that if I didn't say it. I think the same holds true in our own lives. If we don't give ourselves permission to do something, it's never going to happen. But if we think we can do it, even if maybe previously we couldn't have done it, the fact that we imagined it, it actually unlocks something in the universe where then it's a possibility. So our thoughts are incredibly powerful in opening and closing doors. So this month, choose to open, not close. And if you're closing doors, close doors on people, places, and things that are holding you back. As we look at your recent past, we have Temperance reversed. And this was about needing to actually move forward after you make the decision, and I actually think then take action on that. Because Temperance is sort of like playing it cool. Temperance reversed is saying, no, it's time to actually do some things, make some things happen, not play it so safe. And I think that that's one of the key things as you enter into February. Don't be afraid to take calculated and intelligent risks. Any successful business person, anyone that's trying to improve their life or wants to expand their consciousness has to take a leap of faith, has to move beyond the expected. And I think you have a big opportunity this month. One of the ways you can successfully do that is by surrounding yourself with people in the same frequency. This is the participation card to a great degree. If people around you can't get into that sort of idea, that energy, or this new frequency, you're going to find someone else that will, and they may naturally fall out. And this is something that will happen to many of you as you start your spiritual journey. The more you change internally, the more the people around you will start to either show up more in your life or fall away. Because if you start to lead a life that's like cleaner, brighter, more optimistic, if you have people in your life that are pessimistic, that can't see past their own sort of limiting thoughts, then they won't know how to act or react around you. So know that that's normal. The good news, though, is I feel like as you start to work on reprogramming your own sort of energy, then you are attracting some great things over the course of the month, over February. We have the Two of Cups in the crowning position, which is fantastic, but it's actually amplified by the fact that we have the Ten of Pentacles here. So to me, this is love and partnership. This is lasting love and partnership. This is domestic bliss. This is success. This is money. So I think that you could step into something really powerful and that has longevity. That's why I saw a smooth landing when I was meditating. There may be a change, but this could be something that you've been welcoming, wanting, or desiring. And if you've experienced, to pardon the pun here, but like turbulence in your existing relationships, for those of you that might be married or in a roommate situation or a friendship where you've been trying to work things out, I feel like this month there's a chance. And it is really kind of like do or die. You're either going to come together or you'll move on and you'll find someone better. It's an upgrade opportunity if that's the case. One of the things that you want to pay attention to this month, and this is in the near future for you, is to really make sure that what you choose to invest in makes sense. For me, the Six of Pentacles tells me that you have more than enough as long as you're realistic, as long as you are picky on some levels or discerning. And the key here is that you can't be everything to everyone or do everything for everyone. To be a successful person involves sometimes making people unhappy, saying no, and doing what's best, even if it's not what's popular. And those are elements that people maybe don't like to look at in the Six of Pentacles, but that's what's going to propel you further on to success. And that's going to help you move from the Six to the Ten of Pentacles. So I think you absolutely have that ability, but there is a potential pitfall there, which is, you might really want to help all of these people around you, and you just decide to kind of say yes to 10 different things, and then you fall short of your promises and your obligations. So don't fall into that. People with big hearts, people that are healers, people that are light workers, oftentimes struggle with personal limits, right? So I know that's something that I've worked on for decades, and you get stronger and stronger as you get older, because you realize, if I don't do this, I actually won't be able to kind of sustain my own energy. And so that's all that's important this month, I think, is making sure that you check in with yourself and that you're feeling good, that you're feeling like you're getting a return on that investment. But financially speaking, whatever that feeling of lack was at the center, it strikes me very much as either a temporary lack or something that was coming from a past experience that you realize, I'm actually way more than that. That was the past. I can do more with this. And because of your imagination, you can actually expand it out, and people are going to see more worth in you. There's a chance to actually open up, heal your heart, heal your self-worth, and also increase your net worth. So it's a win-win there, but it requires diligence and patience and consistency with saying no. There's one big thing this month that I feel like many of you want to put your time and energy into. We have a major investment card. This is the Ace of Pentacles. I love the illustrations on these cards, but I do have to read it because there's so much going on. So the Ace of Pentacles is reversed, which for me doesn't always mean that you're losing money. It means that you're deciding, this is especially when we couple these two together, I'm going to put a lot into this and not as much into other things. This could mean going back to school. It could mean taking care of your health. It could mean love relationships. It could be anything in your life, but you're going to be picky about one thing. And I think this is another key to successful manifestation. You always want to have a couple things that you're balancing around, but know what you're trying to do. Have some really decisive energy around, I see myself doing this. I am doing this. This will happen. Be definitive about that. Put it into that one energy. And then once you've done that, you can move on to some of the other things, and you can start to dole out the other energy, as we see in the Six of Pentacles. But I do think focusing into one space is going to be great. And again, with Pentacles, it's usually self-improvement. So something in your life that you've wanted to change, you're going to feel better about yourself. That's going to help with the Four of Pentacles. I always point to the heart space for the Four of Pentacles, because that has to do with sharing parts of yourself. And that's what I talked about in the last sign where that came up, which is sometimes feeling like you're kind of being revealed a little bit. And for some of you, you have to be ready to show your cards or show that part of yourself, that vulnerability. What I was saying in the last sign is that that's often what leads people to connect with you. For you this month, it's less about the vulnerability. It's more about the confidence. That's the message that I'm seeing for you. Now let's look at the environment. This is what's going on around you. This is what's within arm's reach that you can actually use as an opportunity. We have a great card for that. So if you are an independent business person, we have the Eight of Wands. For those of you that are single and happy, I always like to try to cover everybody's interest with relationships. This is showing me that you could find a great business partnership opportunity that could lead to a lot of wealth, a lot of distribution, etc. Because for me, the Eight of Wands is sort of like your email box being constantly full, or your cell phone ringing nonstop. It's a lot of activity. The same thing holds true, though, for any of you that are trying to develop a business just like yourself. Just make sure that you are doing what you do well, not trying to cover all bases. When we think of successful companies, they may specialize into 2 or 3 different things, but they're not going to be everything to everyone. Typically, when they do that, that's when the brand gets watered down and success will kind of like start to fall off a little bit. It does feel like this is a time to ramp up, expand, or to add people to the team. If you're job searching, this is a good month to job search. If you felt like like December wasn't good, that January is not really giving you what you need, I see a lot of opportunities coming through in February, and they're coming through from friends, family, and colleagues. That's literally what we're seeing. This would be intimate relationships. This would be close friends. This would be friends of friends and family. So this participation card means that if you're looking for something, it may not be right in front of you. It may not be right beside you, but it might be one person, down the line. So you have to sometimes express what it is that you want tell people what it is, how they can show up in your life, then they can be there for you. So I'm so excited about the group dynamics that are coming through for your sign this month. It's very appropriate that we saw a participation card here. I think that you can't afford to be a hermit this month. We didn't see any hermit cards coming through. You have to be out there. You have to start to work on your communication skills. That's also why we saw the Princess of Swords here at the center. It's all about owning who you are and being able to put yourself out there. So don't hold back. All right, to that end, when we look at opportunities with the Four of Wands in reverse, this is going to what I was just saying, which is that if you've been waiting for something, the wait is over with respect to a lasting relationship, partnership, friendship. I like that we see a treehouse in this one. It's showing me that there is a foundation, and the foundation needs to be sound. The card's reverse, which means don't settle for anything less than that. And in your manifestation exercise that you might be doing over the course of January and February, depending on when you listen to this, you really want to make sure that that's part of it. And I'm going to write that down too, is that you really want a foundation that's going to last the test of time. Because I think it's important when you want, wish, hope, aspire for something to always think like a little bit more than you think you can achieve. In fact, one of the key things that you can add on to a manifestation exercise is all of this or better, like surprise me with something that's beyond my wildest dreams universe. And so we'll add that in there too. I'm going to put or better. So some exciting stuff there for you. This is going to lead into the Ten of Pentacles, which I would be happy to see this in any spread, in any position at any time, because it's abundance, right? It's the quintessential abundance card. So I feel that if there's been anything that you've been trying to overcome, growth is attainable this month. Progress is there for the taking. And that's really what you want to be focusing on, is being able to be in that place of comfort. Now, because of this, because we're seeing all of these opportunities, if you're doing something right now just for the money or just for the safety, you may be limiting yourself. There may be something that offers an equal opportunity, and you just need to look around or ask around. So again, don't settle for second best. That's something else that I'm seeing here, because of all the signs that I've read for thus far for the month of February, looks like you have the most access to abundance. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. I think other signs would be jealous. So access that abundance. Don't limit yourself with thoughts, with fears, or with inaction. Okay, or indecisiveness. Those could be the only things that would hold you back, and they're things that we all fall into sometimes. Let's expand the forecast, and we're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Each of these is like taking a lens and seeing everything from a different angle, so I'll have some additional insights as I do this. They're also multifaceted, meaning that, for instance, as we look at health, it's not going to just be about what's going on in your body. More importantly, it's going to be emotions and anything that you're doing in your spiritual practice as well. So we have a greatly reimagined strength card here. We have mountain as the key sort of message, and then strength underneath it. And I think there's a couple components that I want to look at with this. First of all is that you have the strength to move mountains. You have the ability to withstand any storm. But this is also very reminiscent of the 10 of Wands card, where you have everything that you need. You've done everything you need to do to get to the next level, but you still have to climb up the hill. And so for many of you, that climbing can seem sometimes daunting. Instead of looking at, who knows where you're at? You might be here, you might be here, you might be over the mountain. I think the important thing is to take stock of how far you've come. So whenever, I think sometimes we're always worried about, well, why am I not at the peak? Why haven't I gotten the success that I need? This whole life isn't about being at the peak. It's about learning everything as you go along. So look over your shoulder and see how far you've come. Look at what accomplishments you've made. Look at how much you've grown, and feel the strength within. Let that bolster you to the next level. And if you're feeling a little down, get with the people around you, because you have so much support. Or it's going to be there at the ready. So you have what it takes. That's the message here. This is in all aspects of your life, but it's a mental state of being. So if there's something in your body you need to recover, for instance, or if you've been having difficulties with depression, because we did see the Knight of Cups in reverse in the deep past. This is a month where you're going to find the inner strength to find a new way to look at your life, a new perspective. But you have to climb the hill to see the new vista. And so don't give up this month. Do a little bit more work, and you're going to be okay once you do that. Now, I always like to look at the cards for additional insights. So when it comes to health, like I said, emotional state is really key, but I see there's some really great growth happening with that. I feel like you can overcome any of the sadness, the fear, or the uncertainty. I think the key thing with this is leaning on people in your life, loved ones, professionals, whoever it is that you feel comfortable being with or being around. One thing that is important for many of you is how much is going on in your life. I feel like with the Eight of Wands, it can be sort of like, it can happen when there's so much going on that you don't give yourself enough time to rest, that you're not taking time to meditate, that you might lose focus. All of these things not only will kind of bring you off being productive and being effective, but will also sometimes lead to insomnia, just getting tired and not having the sort of endurance that I want you to have to get through this month. So slow down from time to time, take care of yourself. The Eight of Wands are going to wait for you. Remember, with the Six of Pentacles, you can be picky. You can pick and choose what matters, okay? So you've got this, but just don't overdo it. I think that's the main thing. Thankfully, your sign doesn't show a lot, actually, this month of negativity within health. I think a lot of this has to do with mental state of mind and state of being. That's going to affect how you're doing physically. So we just looked at health. Now we're going to look at wealth. Wealth isn't just money, although we talked a lot about it with the 4, 6, ace, and 10. We're seeing a journey here from trusting yourself to investing in something that you care about to seeing a return on that. Now, how can you get to that? We have a card here that would be very atypical for money, but we're looking at more than money, like I said. It says music. It was reversed, but the message is your connection to music is healing for yourself and others. So quite literally at face value, some of you might be using your communication skills, whether it's singing, speaking, or music, to make money. But for the rest of us, this has to do with finding harmony or finding a sense of things resonating with us or sounding right or feeling right. Because that's what I get when I listen to or look at a music card. It's sort of like, oh yeah, does this sort of fit my energy, my frequency? So as I was saying earlier, you may have a job that pays well, but it's not satisfying your heart. Or you may be in a relationship where, you know, everybody thinks this is the person you should be with, but they're not respecting you, they're not valuing you, and that could be leading into the Four of Pentacles. So there needs to be a sense that it is in harmony with your expectations, that you are using your true voice in whatever you're doing, that really this is harmonious. That's what you're looking for in your sort of resources this month. So if work doesn't fit that mold, if a relationship doesn't fit that mold, if your comfort level with your money doesn't fit that mold, then this month you have to find a way to balance and bring everything into harmony. And on a very, very practical level, makes me sound more like Charles Schwab or something, this could just be about balancing out your investments. You could have too much in one area and not enough in another. So anything that's in discord, you want to bring in harmony. And I think that's going to be key. All right, balance. And also from a heart space, does it feel right? Looking now at love, for some of you, this could be about unshackling. We have free yourself. It says it's time to take back control of your life. So as I said earlier, as you start your journey of spiritual ascension, which we kind of see here in the Strength card, right? Sometimes that journey involves places where it's just you. And you might be stepping away from an old grouping or an old collection of people, but know that you're traveling towards something higher love. And I'm also going to put that in our meditation. How can you bring in a high partnership? It doesn't always mean a soulmate. This could be the divine partnership that you've been dreaming about. This could be a future soulmate, because everybody that was a soulmate at one time in our lives was a stranger, and now in this present life we recognize that. So I like to remind people sometimes that you shouldn't only seek out soulmates. Soulmates is an overused sort of terminology. It just means karmic partnership. Sometimes it's good baggage, sometimes it's just baggage. So if you can meet someone with whom you don't really share the baggage, all there is expansion opportunities. You can bring new energy to the table. So maybe your manifestation or your meditation is going to be about finding a future partner, future soulmate, one that hasn't yet been in your life in any past life, because you weren't ready until now. So never limit yourself to only seeking out a soulmate or twin flame. These things can hold back the true love that could bring something in. And guess what? The true love could just be yourself, figuring out that you love who you are. But that's what you want to focus on. Higher love, freeing yourself from any expectations. And ironically, once you feel like I could take it or I could leave it, then the universe says, well, why don't you take it? Because I'm going to bring a lot of abundance your way. So that's what I'm seeing for you, is that feeling of I'll be okay with or without. And that really attracts more things, more opportunities in your life. Then you can be discerning and decide, do I want it? Do I not? So as we take a look now at your destiny card, the destiny card for me is malleable. That's the reason that we're meeting early. It's something that we can look at as a trajectory. Do you like where you're going? If you do, great. If you don't, you can course correct. So it says, take your time making this decision. I think it's a yes on this, but I also think that it has to happen this month. That was one thing that came through in my meditation. So take your time, but I do think by the end of February, you should be in a place where you have what it takes, because I do believe at some point you can overthink. And it looks like you have a lot of really great indicators this month of partnership, abundance, and the strength to do anything that you want to do. So the only limiting factors this month are doubt, uncertainty, or I would say stagnation. And so I think with this, it cuts both ways. Yes, take your time, but don't take so much time that it's like a ship in the night. It passes and you're not sure if you're going to be able to connect with that again. So for each of you, the timing is going to be something that's very personal, but I see by the end of the month, things wrapping up in a good place for many of you. So I like that overall. Let's go ahead now and review what we've talked about. And then we're going to go a little bit deeper and look at what could be either holding you back from achieving your goals or help you get there faster. We'll do a special focus on manifestation in just a moment. So let's begin with the channeled message here that I said. I felt like this month was about landing on your feet. And as we saw here, it feels like the energy is very optimistic. There's a lot of support coming through for you. And making a decision was key to that. And then we have this right here. And I actually said the time is now. This one said take your time. I would say it's between the two of these. If we look at this, I would say the end of the month gives you what you need for that sense of I can do this. So don't feel this sense of fear or dread. I feel like you have exactly what it takes based on what we're looking at here. People are going to be a key component to your success this month. Let's again just look at all the people cards that came through. This participation message, the 2 of Cups, the 4 of Wands, the 10 of Pentacles, and also even to some degree the 6 of Pentacles, which can be a chance to decide with whom you'd like to connect as well. Looking at the center card, there is an illusion or there is a sort of lingering energy from the past of I won't have enough, or it won't work out, or if I do this, I might be rejected. We all have those sort of lingering soul scars. And I think one of the things that you can focus on is how can I heal my soul? How can I let go of that energy? Because it's blocking me from the true abundance, the 6, the Ace, and the 10 that want to come through. Instead, set your sights on something that matters. The Queen of Swords or the Princess of Swords or the Page of Swords, any of the higher suit swords cards deal with how to communicate that to the world. So I would say for you, journaling could be really key this month. Writing things down or saying things out loud are some of the most powerful ways that you can start manifesting. So thinking it in your head isn't quite enough. In my yoga teacher training, one of the things that we learned was the power of mantra repetition and positive affirmation brings it from here and here out into the world. It's like you become not just a satellite, but also kind of like a loudspeaker, and people can start to see you. So know that that is part of this, is bringing it from these two spaces to the world, or using your hands as well, because swords can be using the written word, the spoken word, or your actions. So bring it into action. That's one of the messages that I might have missed at the beginning, but I caught here as I'm doing the review. Don't let your emotions hold you back. Don't let inaction, quite literally, kind of hold you back. Now's the time to take action. Know that people are coming in that want to help you. You can be picky, have high expectations, but I feel like you're going to have at least 1 or 2 offers. For those of you looking for love, you actually might be facing an opportunity where you have to decide between a couple people. If you have jobs, there might be a couple of really interesting opportunities on the horizon. If you're in a long-term relationship, this might be a month where you're deciding, do I want to take this to the next level? And we see here the ace, which can be an offer that's being placed out there. This could be a proposal, a contract. And that could also explain why some of you have butterflies, whether it's accepting the contract or proposing it. So as long as you feel it, I feel like there can be a really positive outcome with it. It's all in how you deliver it. And as we look here at investment, I would say both because we see the harmonizing card here with music and also just the fact that the Pentacles is reversed here, spend your time and energy in things that really matter and really resonate for you, with you, and really feel like they're bringing you to what you want to create in your life. This is a month to actually be more self-focused. I don't want to use the word selfish. I think it's just taking care of yourself, because some of you, as teachers, parents, lovers, light workers, have put a lot of energy and love in others. So it's okay to put that light right back in yourself so that you can grow and give back. That's one of the things any caretaker has to do, is make sure that they're okay as well. We see the Eight of Wands. I think that whatever you decide to put that energy into, we see great growth and development. This bodes well for relationships, for business, and other opportunities on the horizon. You could get lost in the shuffle a little bit with this card, and that's why I want you to make sure that you're taking time for yourself. Listen also to what people are saying, what your thoughts are saying. You know, all of the kind of communication going around you is important. If you kind of put your blinders on and are focused too much on the path in front of you, then you're going to miss something. You could be missing a partnership, you could be missing some other opportunity, and that's what that card was saying, is be aware of your surroundings. Don't settle for second best. We talked about this. I see growth and abundance happening. If you're in a position where you feel like you're recovering from debt, you're recovering from some sort of a health issue, or anything going on in that respect, then this is a chance for you to make some sort of strides here. By the way, with the Four of Pentacles, I talked about this the last time it came up, and I just remembered this for health. I would say it's really important to focus on expanding the heart space. If you're feeling any sort of constriction, whether it's hypertension, high blood pressure, or anything going on with the heart, you definitely want to get that checked out, because that can be one of the indicators with the Four of Pentacles. Speaking of health, whatever it is, you can overcome it, or you're going to have the tools to deal with it. Focus on your actual physical strength building activities. So cardiovascular exercise is important. And even just using your own body, like push-ups and things like that. You don't have to use weight training for this. It's just about being stronger, more flexible, etc. We already touched upon harmony. Make sure that what you're doing resonates with you. If you're in a job or a relationship that doesn't, we see an upgrade path, so don't be afraid to take it. Free yourself from anything that is limiting in any relationship, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, or something where the partner is no longer there for you. The thing that I am seeing for many of you is you could just be freeing yourself from the idea that you're trapped or that it won't work. It does look like cooperation, growth, and forgiveness is at your disposal this month. I don't always see that, but I see that. We didn't get a divorce card. We didn't get a Tower card. We see a lot of energy around being able to overcome. So you could free yourself from the idea that it can't be dealt with. The last time this came up, I was talking about vulnerability. And if you just feel like whatever it is that you or your partner might be going through, that you can overcome it, then that's a big, I think that's half of the battle, right? And finally, I feel like a decision has to be made for you. We didn't get judgment, but we might as well have, because I sort of saw the energy of judgment when I was meditating. This card has that as well. So just know that a decision is at hand. You have the resources to make it. At a certain point, you're going to have to make it. And I feel like you're going to be A-okay, because I saw the smooth landing. So you'll find that cosmic timing that's right. Just don't take forever. That's the one thing that I'm going to add to that, okay? So let's go ahead now and take a look at your opportunities for manifestation. I scribbled down some things again earlier, which was the fear around abundance, making sure that you have a foundation that will last the test of time, looking for higher love, all of those things. We'll put that into the meditation in a moment. But in the meantime, let's see what might be helping or hindering that. Plus, I'm going to see if there's any additional messages that want to come through. So we'll start off with past influences. Okay, so we have King of Pentacles. This is great, actually. For me, this shows house and home. It's also a parental card, and it's about being able to develop and grow money. So for some of you, there might have been a yearning for these things because this is in the past. But it also shows me you have everything that you seek. It's already there because it's not in a future state. So if you're looking for someone in your life to give you stability, that thought begins with you. I basically, I have everything that I'm looking for in someone else. You have to start to work on that and feel that I love myself, I am stable, I am worth being in this relationship, etc. And we'll go through some of that in the mantra in a second. But what I'm seeing here is that anyone would be happy to have you in their life, or should be. So feel that sense of self-worth. That's the first thing I think that needs to be worked on. And because you have that worth, that's why we see the 10 of Pentacles happening this month. So I concur with King of Pentacles. Strong grounding, strong sense of worth and opportunity. And when you own that grounding and own that sense of self, then everyone around you sees it, and it comes knocking on the door and wants a little bit of your energy and your time. All right. Overthinking. This is what I was picking up when I meditated. We have the King of Wands in reverse. Notice that while he's sitting there on his throne, that life is happening behind him, right? This is a very domestic card. He's sitting there with his dog, but meanwhile, life is happening. So you can overthink things too much. Any of the King or Queen cards can sometimes be too sedentary. And that was one thing that I saw here with recent past. It's time for action. This is a very interesting Temperance card. We kind of have like a fairy here. But I'm looking at her wings. Take flight. And that's what I was seeing in my meditation too, was it's time to take flight. It's time to, for some of you, like land and then get on to the next thing. So because we're never really plateauing permanently. So I think make a decision, land on one thing, land on your feet, then get on to the next thing, climb the next mountain, try the next challenge ahead of you. So yeah, sitting and waiting too long can be the challenge. Let's look at the future state. We have the High Priestess, and this is what oh no, actually this is the Empress. All of the women in this deck look like the High Priestess, but the Empress card, also reversed, is about being able to access fertility, growth, and power. She's the queen, right? The quintessential queen. We got a lot of kings and queens here. So you are strong. That's one thing that came through. Every single card is royalty. But the final one's really important, and this is what's going to help you manifest. With the Empress card, in the upright position, she indicates knowing what she wants, commanding attention, being able to really create order in her life. When she's reversed, her energy sometimes is being pulled in directions that are undeserving, unnecessary, or unwarranted. So I would say one of the things you really want to do is rein in what you decide to do. This is the investment card. So be picky and discerning when it comes to how you're going to spend your time and energy. That's one of the pitfalls that could hold you back from accomplishing the 10 of Pentacles. So don't be everything to everyone. And also good leaders. I didn't talk about this the last time we saw the Empress, but good leaders don't have to show their power or say that they're powerful. And unfortunately, nowadays with celebrities and politicians and the world in general, we don't see a lot of examples of a gentle leader that kind of just is powerful but doesn't have to say it. Someone like Gandhi, for instance, is the ultimate example maybe of someone that can lead with, or Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, they have this ability to bring people together, but their whole message is about peace and love. And yeah, they're that conduit. They're super powerful, but they're never making it about themselves. They're always making it about the collective, about the bigger purpose. So I would say, let your ego go a little bit. Let this feeling of needing to show your power go, and instead get back to the past, which is just simply to think, I am powerful. My grandfather said this, actually. The older he got, he didn't have to prove that he was right anymore. He took great sort of like happiness in just seeing things happen. He knew, he was like, eventually people are going to figure out that they could have listened to me, but I never have to say I told you so. I don't have to show that I'm older or stronger or wiser. They'll pick up on it or they won't, and it's kind of their loss. So if you can start to think that the right people will come to you, that you know what you need to do, that you recognize your power and strength, then you don't have to overcompensate. And I think that's one of the keys to your success this month, is just thinking, I've got this. And this is going to be the law of detachment as well. I can take it or leave it. I've got a lot of other things that I can spend my time and energy on. So whether it's love, a job, or whatever, if you can sit with that feeling that I'm going to attract the best thing in my life, and if that's not it, I'm okay with that. That thing is going to come towards you faster than you can imagine. You become like the sun and you're pulling this stuff into your life, okay? So that's actually the most important card I think we saw. There was the Empress reversed. That feeling of you've got this, and it's a gentle leader. And because it's divine feminine, that is how the divine feminine would react. It's about creation, nurturing, and not having to prove. It's not the divine masculine where it's in your face. There is this gentle energy of unfolding this month. And that's this deck actually that I was working with is there's all sorts of like flowers and fruits and things kind of developing. It's like a harvest deck. And I feel like that's really what, even though it's February, that's kind of the energy that's coming through, is the energy of harvest. So all this stuff that you've been working on, this is your chance now to kind of take that fruit on the vine and enjoy it. So don't miss this opportunity for going after something that you care about. Let's go ahead now and do a meditation on manifestation. For any of you that are at work, obviously it might be harder for you to do this, so join me on the replay. If you like this, you can always watch this later. If you can stick around for this, please do, because as I said, there's power in numbers. And so as we meditate together, we're going to be able to pull in energy and help one another. And I'll do a little bit of a bonus healing for the planet at the end. That's something that I'm trying to do with everything. So I know we've got a lot of places and people in the world that need help. So we'll do something just for the planet as well. So if everybody could get into a place where you're comfortable, close your eyes, and let's do a little bit of deprogramming at the beginning here before we reprogram. So I want you to, first and foremost, do a scan of your body and see anything that's holding on to tension. Some of you might have, tension around your jaw, around your neck. It might be even just a migraine or something that you're holding into your neck and your shoulders. Wherever you're feeling it, I want you to take your shoulders, roll them up towards your ears, kind of stretch everything for a second, and then just let go on the exhale, allowing each and every muscle to relax. Even the small muscles that we forget that we sometimes stress, the ones around the eyes, the scalp, all of those tiny tendons, and even the thoughts themselves. Imagine that everything becomes feather light, that everything starts to just take on the energy of a feather or maybe a dandelion seed, something that's light, that has no weight to it. And it's almost as if in this moment that you could start to float. Your thoughts are becoming lighter than your body. Before we let you get too carried away with that, I want you to first ground yourself. Imagine perhaps that you're sitting against a tree. Let your heart melt into that tree and feel the roots reaching towards the heart of the planet. Feel the branches reaching towards the cosmos. Know that as we do the meditation, you can come into that tree at any point if you feel like you're getting lost. But in the interim, I want you to reach up towards the stars or towards the sky or the moon, depending on what part of the day or evening it is, and drink in that light, that cosmic energy that's all around us. A lot of times we lose touch with how much energy, how much light there is in the world. And I want you to feel connected to that ancient family that is yours, all of the stars in the galaxy we were once a part of. And we're gonna, in this moment, just say hello to that energy and drink it in for a moment, feeling a sense of recharging. So for any of you that are feeling that your heart is kind of tired, that you've been working too hard, that you're not sure if there can be abundance in your life, drink in this light, see this golden starlight, this beautiful silver moonlight, or the golden energy of the sun come towards your crown chakra, and imagine that it's almost like this cup that you're going to fill up. It's like the Ace of Cups. Just let the energy start to create a pool of radiance in your top crown chakra, and then allow that radiance to start to move itself through your body, so that if you were to look at yourself from a distance, you would just be this resplendent light body, glowing and twinkling in the sky, just like the stars. And now I want you to, just like that Princess of Swords in the center, I want you to set your eyes on the horizon, see something through your telescope. Maybe it's your own future relationship success, a job that you're trying to do, something that you want to improve upon in your life. See that future self and imagine now that you're able to Jump into that sense of who you will be, what you will be doing, how it will be to be in this future state. And in that moment, I want you to drink it in, just like the energy that you brought into that virtual Ace of Cups that we created. Feel the success. Feel the sense of accomplishment, of ease, of action, just this elation. You worked so hard to get this. Celebrate the success that is, that will be, that you are creating. And think to yourself, I am this. I am creating this. I will be there. Really project that sense of confidence in the creation, in the eventuality of what this is. Take a nice deep breath, and I want you to create an etheric cord to this future self. Really breathe in, really feel that connection. Drink in that success that will be. Exhale, let go of doubt, fear, uncertainty. Reject the Four of Pentacles from the past. It is just a fear. It is just a frustration. It is not a reality. I want you to feel a sense of family around you. It could be a constellation of stars. It could be friends. It could be that treehouse that we saw, a sense that I am protected. I am surrounded by love. I have found my tribe. I have found my star family. I want you to see that energy around you, and it's celebrating you. It could be hands clapping. It could be stars shining. It could be energy lifting you up. Feel that sense that you are supported, like any of the ace cards in tarot. You have like that hand underneath you, lifting you up to that peak that I saw on the mountain. And from this new vista, see everything around you, see why it took you so long to get where you're at, and also see that you can absolutely get to the next step. You've come so far, you wouldn't let go of it. And now in this last moment, before we return you to your body, I want you to think, I'm so grateful. I can have all of this or something better. I'm ready for the universe to surprise me. Any of the past pain, disappointment, or loss that I experienced, it was just that. It was there to create context in my life so that I could celebrate that future state that I see. I'm going to hold that with me like a wish, like a dream. I'm going to keep that in my heart. Each and every day, I'm going to breathe life into that. I'm going to keep this energy that I brought in, like that Ace of Cups, and share it with the world as well. And before we get back into your body, that's one last thing that I'd like to do while you're in this higher state is take a moment now and look at the planet. The planet needs healing now more than ever. We have fires that are ravaging places like Australia. We have other places of the planet that are dealing with poverty or sickness or political unrest. Whatever is going on that is near and dear to you, send some love to Mother Earth. Connect with the center of the planet first. Some of that energy that you have in your heart, give a little bit to Mother Earth and say, this is for you. The energy of love anyway is eternal and also abundant. So you can always give more from your heart. So share a little bit of love with the planet and allow that then to create this beautiful green sphere around this earth. We need the energy of the heart now more than ever with Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. So send that out, beam it to the heart space of the planet, and then start to feel your energy come back towards the planet. Know that the earth has you as well. Now that you've given her a little bit of love, she's bringing you back down into your body and protecting you, wrapping her arms around you and saying, I've got your back as well. Rejoining your body, which is leaning against that tree. Feel in this moment that you're snapping into past, present, and future. You see where you've come, you see where you are, you see where you're going, and you're going to carry with you that thought, I am capable of this. I am going to do this. And I'm going to be the gentle leader that I saw with the Empress card. I don't need to prove these things. I know them. Knowing is enough. Take one last breath and then open your eyes when you're ready. And welcome back. So hopefully you all enjoyed the meditation. I see great abundance coming through for you with that 10 of Pentacles. So hold within your thoughts, within your energy, within your mind that you can do this, that you've got this. And thank all of you, by the way. I noticed that there were several of you that were doing super chats and super stickers. I just want to say thank you so much. I'll take a moment when this goes on replay and I'll call you out in a paragraph. So I just want to give you much love and light for doing that. If you'd like to connect with me, let me just tell you some ways you can do that. First of all, I try my best to give a great reading for everybody, but I know that life throws some curveballs. Some of you may have some challenges that you're going through and you want to connect with me. You can do that on my website. There's a way there to book an appointment, or if there's some sort of question or whatever, you can reach out to me and look at my availability through my booking site. If you just want to follow me on social media, you can join me across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I have the same username on Facebook, Patreon, and YouTube. Patreon is a way that you can give back every month, and the join button here, you can do the same. But again, I'm at Nicholas Ashbaugh on these networks. On Instagram, I'm at Nicholas_Ashbaugh. And both Facebook and Instagram are fantastic ways to connect because you're going to get reminders, like I said. Same thing for Twitter, N_Ashbaugh, actually just N_Ashbaugh, sorry. And this is a great way for you to get a tweet reminder whenever I'm going to go live. So my lovely moderators, Maria and Ryan, have been posting links to how to follow me. Feel free to do that. But if you're watching this in the rerun, it will also be in the little eye icon in the corner. You can click that and there'll be a bunch of cards, and also right below the video, there's some links. Finally, if you're old school and you just want to send some love and support through PayPal, it's paypal.me/Nicholas Ashbaugh. So I want to say thank you again for showing up today, for working on yourselves. One of my goals on this planet is to help everybody on that path of ascension, on light working. And if you can share this with people that you think would appreciate it, that would make me very happy. So hopefully you enjoyed this, you enjoyed the meditation. And for those of you that are Libra, stick around and I'll be back in about an hour and a half or so for the Libra reading. And for everybody else, thank you so much. Much love and light to all of you. I appreciate you. And it was so great to see many new faces here today in the live feed and many familiar ones. Again, thanks to everybody that did a super chat or super sticker. Keep that coming. It does help make a difference. All right. Until we see each other again, have a great month and make February an amazing month. You have some great opportunities in front of you.